I see this love and affection that he has for his family at every event we hold at Notre Dame Cristo Rey. Marcos, you are loved by many. Thank you for being with us here tonight and for being with us at Notre Dame Cristo Rey. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to let Marcos tell you his story in his very own words. Marcos.
I am Marcos Mejia, and I am a sophomore at NDCR. Thank you all for coming here tonight for this special fundraiser for the Notre Dame Cristo Rey family. I should start off by saying that like most students in our school, I am the son of immigrants and an immigrant myself. My younger sister and I were born on the beautiful island of the Dominican Republic, where we went to school like all the other kids. I don't remember much about elementary school up until 3rd grade. I do remember being dedicated to all I did, especially learning English. Sometimes my classmates laughed at my little knowledge of the language. Other times, it was difficult to hold a conversation with the teacher. Most days, I would go home and cry. But by 4th grade, things had changed. I had better control of the language and made a lot of friends. In 2010, like Jorelli, I came to the United States, where I lived in Lawrence for 7 years. In middle school was challenging, but high school was a totally new experience. I knew about the family atmosphere at NDCR, but honestly didn't know what I was doing academically. The energy in Miss Platty's English class in 3rd period, my freshman year, was like nothing I had ever experienced before. Class was fast-paced and demanding. I had to keep up in and outside of the class. I started to expect that from each of my classes. And by the end of the school year, I was already used to the rigorous classes the school had to offer. It felt great to be attending Notre Dame Cristo Rey High School. I felt challenged, I felt respected, and I felt at home. At the end of my freshman year, my parents had the opportunity to buy a house in Haverhill. It was exciting to move into a new house I could call home. It felt different living somewhere that we owned, but this feeling didn't last long. During the summer, finances became a burden for my family. It was very difficult to watch what my parents were going through. They have given me everything, and they will always stand by my side. I couldn't bear to see them struggle, so I thought of every possible way to help. Despite how sad I was about it, I offered to go to the nearest public high school, which will save them from having to pay for tuition and the money they were paying to drive to Lawrence. It was a very hard conversation for all of us, because while I knew this was what we needed to do, I didn't want to leave NDCR, and my parents didn't want me to leave NDCR either. It was my perfect fit. We made the decision together, and I started public high school in the fall. The high school was a completely new experience to get used to. At first, I tried keeping a positive attitude by saying to myself that being in a big high school was great because it was different, that it would be a great high school experience. But it wasn't. The ideas and values of that school were not like NDCR. Students walked out of classes, fights were rampant, and worst of all, teachers didn't have control. They spoke and went unheard. I saw injustice and a lack of respect. I felt hopeless and yearned to be back at NDCR. I got up the courage to ask my parents if we could find ways for me to go back to Notre Dame Cristo Rey. I would do anything to go back, and they knew it. My parents saw how important it was for me, that they figured out a way to pay for tuition, which I know NDCR had a big part in. And I promised to take public transportation so that they didn't have to drive me. I recall calling Mr. Cedeno one day after school and asking him if the transition back to NDCR was possible. On the last call we had, he said that I could not go to school until next Wednesday because paperwork with the corporate work study was not completed. I never wanted to go back to school so much in my life. Despite what Mr. Cedeno said, I decided to go back to school anyways. So on Monday, October 16th, I was dressed in my uniform and the very first sophomore to arrive at school. Later that day, Sister Mary Alice walked into my biology class, and as soon as she looked at me, was filled with joy. It felt amazing to see how happy she was that I was back. Everyone was happy that I was back, but no one was happier than me. I was back with my NDCR family. I wake up before 6 a.m. every day, walk to the nearest bus stop, and start my 45-minute commute to Lawrence. It may seem far for some, but there is no distance that would keep me from attending NDCR. My parents, like many other parents at NDCR, continue to make tremendous sacrifices so that I can go to the high school I love, and so that I can pursue my dream of going to college. I have the same dream for my little sister, whom we are hoping will be able to attend NDCR in 2 years. I don't want her to leave like I did. I don't want any of the students at NDCR to have to leave because they don't have the money to pay for tuition. Through your contributions to me, you can help change the lives of many students at NDCR who have stories like mine. Please raise your paddle high for my friends, for me, and for my little sister. As a very small way of thanking you for your support and kindness to the students at Notre Dame Cristo Rey, I would like to sing a song for all of you tonight. When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burns to be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be.
So I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders.
You raise me up to more than I can be.
You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be.
You raise me up to more than I can be.
Rosmelli, Arcieri, and Chiarelli, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, your generous gifts raise up our students. Students that you may never know that you impact in such a positive way for the rest of their life.